Hello everybody, I'm Sandy with Urban Rebel Designs in Aztec, New Mexico. When you jump on, say good morning or good afternoon depending on where you are. Let me know where you're watching from, and also let me know who your local retailer is. And if you don't have one, we'll help you find one. Today we are doing this gorgeous sleigh that I got from Sinopoly. I posted a link in the comments to Sinopoly if you're interested in ordering one. These things are gorgeous. So let me tell you, hello Miss Sally Joe. Let me tell you what we have done so far, and then I'll tell you what we're going to do today. So when I got this in, it comes in as raw wood. So I have painted 2 coats of rustic red, and then we're going to be using gold. The Moonshine Metallics in Gold Digger. Isn't that gorgeous? And we're also going to be using some WoodUBend. I'm going to be using this as a cookie and candy bar for my Christmas gatherings. Good morning, Dixie Belle. So it's going to be Mrs. Claus souped up sleigh, and this is coming from her cookie company. I did 2 coats of the rustic red. I let it dry overnight, and now we're going to do this cute little stencil. I think I got it from Amazon or Hobby Lobby or somewhere like that. If you need help finding one, let me know and I will see if I can find one. I did want to show you a little trick if I can find my tape. Because this is fresh paint and I don't want to pull it up when I pull the tape up, I simply de-sticky my tape a little bit before I use it. And I do that, I'm going up on my knees. I simply do that by pressing it on my shirt. And that will de-sticky it enough where it will still hold the stencil, but it's not going to pull the paint up because it's fresh, it hasn't cured. And we know all paint requires a 28 to 30 day cure time. And I'm working backwards, so forgive me. We're going to start, actually I'm going to start with some rustic red when I don't want a stencil to bleed through, so we don't get bleed through when we use the gold. And also, you know, I like to use a sponge to stencil with. So I'm just going to dampen my sponge a little bit. And while I'm doing this, if you notice this little corner right here, this is the mini fridge that I started on a live a couple of weeks ago. It's finished and it's in the store. I'm gonna have to pour a little bit of paint out. Oops, I got too much. And now I'm just doing a really light coat of the base color just to seal the edges, and it will not take this long at all to dry. But while I'm doing this, I want to give a shout out to all of the ladies and gentlemen at Dixie Belle. I had a little issue going live this morning. I called. Jasmine jumped on the phone, helped me out, and here we are. These are the most wonderful people, and I can't thank them enough for all their help. So do me a favor, let's give Dixie Belle some hearts. Okay, so we've almost got this done. And we'll give it.
Visitors this morning from Greece and Russia.
Greece and Russia, wow. Thank you for joining us. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry for just a couple of minutes. And I'm gonna put my paint back up. I'm gonna disappear back here. Also, let me show you the snowman. You can just see the bottom of it back here. So you saw the 3D trees that I did on my live on Tuesday. This is a 3D snowman that Sinopoly also has. That is adorable. I'm gonna get my gold digger ready. And we'll give this just a couple more minutes. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I will do my best to answer them. If I can't answer them, Dixie Belle is on here. I'm sure they can. And I'm just going to use the same sponge, but I'm going to bend it over so we're not mixing the red. And I need to dampen the back just a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to be working out of the lid. Put it over here. If the comments are in your way, you can swipe to the right. That will make the comments disappear and you can see everything that's going on here. So I'm going to stand up for just a second so I can see this better. And we're going to get some gold on here. Now you'll notice when I'm going around something, if I feel like it's pulling up, I didn't let this dry quite long enough, but that's okay. It's just going to make it look a little bit aged.
I want to mention the stencil isn't backwards.
The stencil is not backwards. I did not flip my camera this morning, so it's going to show up backwards on your screen. But I promise that it is facing the correct way. And I should also probably tell you that my plan is to do the same stencil and the same WoodUBend piece on the back. And then we will put some gold on these edges and also on the slab runners. What are those called? Okay, if somebody knows what the runners are called on a sled, let me know. I've always just called them runners. But we'll do those in gold also. And then I think I may put a couple of small bows on either side because this is for Mrs. Claus and she's got to be fancy. If you're interested in the easiest way on earth to make a bow, let me know. I can make bows in my sleep. I'm really excited. I think I may have smudged it a little bit right there, but that's okay. I can go back and fix it. That's the great thing about doing something like this. It's just paint. If you mess it up, you can go back and fix it. If you don't like it, paint over it.
You have had a request for a bow.
Okay, I have a request for a bow. I will try to get to that at the end of this live. If I don't have time, then I will post a link to a YouTube video that I have for bows. Okay, so drop that and move this, and we're going to pull our stencil off and we're going to work with our WoodUBend. If you're not familiar, look at how cute that is. Let me drop this over here. Okay, so if you're not familiar with WoodUBend, it is a bendable wood molding. It's bendable when it heats. Okay, so he was just telling me I left my paint sitting on the bottom, and I was about to knock it over. And that would not make me very happy to lose an entire jar of Gold Digger. WoodUBend is bendable wood molding. It gets flexible when it's heated. I have already painted this gold, and we're going to put it right about here. This is, look at how flexible this is. Okay, I have it sitting on a hot plate over here. It's got to go back down in the floor, forgive me. Because I have to put some wood glue on here. I am obsessed with WoodUBend. I can think of 30,000 different ways to use it. Maybe not 30,000, maybe 29. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, I've got wood glue on the back. I'm just going to set it on my griddle for a second. let it heat back up so it's really flexible. I'm in a tiny area, so I keep having to move my knees. Okay, and now we are going to place this. And I'm sorry I did not get the number of this particular piece. And I'm gonna go back. I'll go back after we finish and clean out. I put a little bit too much glue and it squished out. But when you put it back on the griddle and heat it, is that even? There we go. It helps the wood glue to get a little tacky quicker. And so now I'm gonna use my heat gun. This will make a little bit of noise, so forgive me. But I'm just gonna heat this up to make it mold exactly to my surface. This also helps the glue set. And there we have it. And I will get a little brush and just clean up where I have excess glue. And if I need to go in and clean up some of these spots, I can take just a little bit of red paint and cover that. And we will be ready to start a quick, easy, simple bow. A little bit more to clean up. Okay. So let me get this wiped off my hands. Got just a little bit there. But I can go back in with some red and fill this in. Isn't that adorable? I can't wait to use this. So I think we're going to use 2 colors of gold in our bow, and I think we'll use some really pretty plaid that has just a little gold streak in it. I will tell you right now, Sam's Club has Christmas ribbon. It's a good time to buy it because they have probably the best prices, and they have usually a really fabulous selection. So it's really simple to make this bow. We're going to have our 3 colors of ribbon. Oh, this one's not open yet either.
Someone wants to know where you can find the WoodUBend.
Most of the Dixie Belle retailers are carrying the WoodUBend now. Dixie Belle is carrying it. We have it on our Etsy shop, and I did post a link. I think I posted a link to our Etsy shop. We have WoodUBend there, and on our website we also have it in the shop. Okay, so we're going to start with a pipe cleaner. And I like to use them long, so I have plenty of room to work with. I'm just going to bend it in half, and this is going to be our base. So I always start with the center part of the bow, and I will use a 1.5 inch wired ribbon for this. So I'm just going to pull off, this is probably 5 or 6 feet. And the easiest way to do this, we're going to figure out how long we want our tails, and we want to leave them long enough that we can trim them up if we need to. But we're going to make our first loop. This will determine the size of all the other loops. Now, you'll notice I'm just pinching it in right here, and I'm going to go directly across I'm gonna flip it under and make my second loop. The most important thing you need to know here, you want your loops to be even. And you see I'm holding it in the center. Okay, so I'm back over here. I'm gonna do one more loop, and then I'm gonna cut my tails so that they're even. And we're going to put this in our pipe cleaner, and we're only going to give it one twist because we're going to have to open it up to put our other layers. And let's see. Yep. So we have a head, 2 arms, and 2 legs. We've made a little man. Now we're going to go to the next color, and for it I want to use the really pretty plaid, and see how it has just the gold stripe in it. We're going to do the same thing here. We'll cut 5 or 6 feet. And don't worry if you think I'm wasting ribbon. I am not. I save ribbon because I use it all the time. And I'm going to move this back here out of my way. So this time it's just the same process. We're going to make one loop. We want it to be a little bit longer than the first set that we made, and we're going to squish it in, and we're going to come across. I'm going to pull this out of the way, come across, make our second loop, make sure they're even, and then we're making our third loop. Here's where it gets tricky. Here's where you need 4 hands. So I'm going to hold this between these 2 fingers so I can untie this, and be sure when you lay this ribbon down, let me lay it down here, that you go in the opposite direction. So I've got 1 loop on this side, so I'm going to lay this one down with 2 loops on that side. And we're going to give it one more twist, and we're going to do one more layer. So this time we're going to use the really pretty shiny, get it down here, solid gold, and I'm going to cut a piece off of it. Throw this back here out of my way, and it's the same process. So we have one loop, we're squeezing it together, flipping it under. See how I'm flipping it under to make my second loop? And now we need to check the height, and I'm good there. So we're going to make our third loop. If I can get hold of it. Ah! Of course that was on camera. Okay. Now we're going to untwist this again, and we're going to put our third row on there. And it's going in the opposite direction of the second row. So we have our 2 tails going between the 2 legs here. And now I'm going to hold it down with my thumb, and I'm going to pull the stem really tight and give it 2 or 3 twists. Then all we have to do is fluff this. We will trim up our ribbon tails. I'm probably going to dovetail them because I usually end up dovetailing everything. And we're going to cut our ribbon tails approximately the same length as our longest loops. So to dovetail a ribbon, all you do is you're going to fold it in half lengthwise, and then you're going to cut up from the side that's not folded. So you're just cutting in a V, and there you have perfectly dovetailed ribbon. So we'll go around and we'll do this to the other ribbons and fluff it out. Oops, wrong way. And I like to use the tails as alternative loops. So when I'm placing it, I'm going to make sure that my one that's in the middle is in the middle, and then I will just fluff it out and play with it until I have it exactly the way that I want it, and it will go right there. When I use this, I'm probably going to set this on the counter at home, and I will place my goodies on different levels, different heights, and I'll have it down in front also. But I'll have my cookies and my candies and my sweets on this, and it will be adorable. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'll go back and read the comments, and I try to respond to all of the questions. I will be live on the Chalk Paint 101 page tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Mountain Time, and I have a really, really cute project planned for that I think you'll enjoy. Thanks for joining me today. Go out and create something special today. Bye.